Hey guys, welcome back to Your Lake Fork Guide. Coming to you from a late summer / early fall / it can't make up its mind what it wants to do, Lake Welsh. And today we kind of stumbled into a new technique. And today was all about listening to the fish. Kind of found a new way to fish an old bait. It was really effective. So we're going to talk about bottom hopping, finesse swim baits. Tell you a little story about how today went. We started out, things were going really slow. We caught a couple fish, but they were very small. And then we were fishing a little water discharge over here on Lake Welsh. If you fish Lake Welsh, you've probably seen this area before. But I stopped to talk to my partner David, and as I was talking to him, my swim bait just fell to the bottom. And when I went to pick it back up, I had a fish on it, and I ended up missing him because I didn't know he had it. Then I started dragging the bait on the bottom. I started getting a couple bites, but they weren't holding on to it. Later in the day, when the fish started biting a little better, picked this technique back up, and it really kind of saved the day for us. Really got the fish going, caught some really good quality fish on it, and we'll show you some of those fish later in the video today. But so I wanted to share this technique because it's something that's literally brand new. I've never done this before. I've never fished a swim bait in this manner, so I wanted to share it with you guys because maybe this could help you on a day when it's tough, you're not getting bites. You can try this out, maybe it can save one of your days. So this is nothing abnormal. You guys have probably seen this rig, this setup on this channel several times. In fact, we just talked about fishing this in shallow grass on Fork just a couple weeks ago. What this is, that is a Smash Tail Junior. Today was the El Guapo color, which is actually probably my favorite color in the little Smash Tail Junior swim bait. Rigging it up on a 3/0 owner flashy swimmer. Got that little blade underneath it that's always turning. It takes hardly any water resistance. So this blade, and this is one of the key deals for this technique. This is a really light tailed swim bait, so it takes very little water pressure to make the tail kick, and this little bitty blade takes hardly any water pressure to make it spin. So even at extremely slow speeds, this tail's still moving and that blade's still spinning. So I had this tied on to my typical small swim bait setup, which is a 6-inch Lux rod, 7.5 heavy with a moderate action tip, 20-pound fluorocarbon, 6:3 to 1 gear ratio reel. So what we had today was we had an area that had an overabundance of bait fish. A lot of small bait fish in there. That's why I had the small swim bait tied on. Now this area had shallow water. It also had deep water and had in between. And there was fish in all depths. And we could see the fish on the graph. We could see the shallow fish kind of chasing the bait around. We just couldn't get them to bite. And kind of like I said, kind of found this on accident. But once we found it, I would actually take this swim bait, make a long cast with it, and literally just drag it and hop it like a slow moving Texas rig. This little old deal worked like a gem because that tail was still kicking, that blade was still turning. It was almost just nose in the bottom. There's a lot of rock in this area. It would catch on a rock, I'd pull it over, it'd hop up over that rock and then fall down. There's a lot of current in this area. I think that was a big key. So that bait would snag a rock. When I lift it over, it would just kind of drift past that rock and flow down with the current kind of pushing it. That was when I'd get my bites. Every time I'd come over a rock, as it would start to fall, wham, they'd hit it. And when they hit it, they were knocking slack in my line. Once they started eating, once I started biting a little better, they were really crushing this thing. One thing that was important for me though was to be mindful of where my rod tip was. As I was dragging, if I got my rod tip too high or too far back in my pull, when they bit, it would take me too long to get my rod tip down and reel up my slack to set the hook. So I started making shorter drags as the day went on. If you can picture what I'm saying here, instead of me taking my rod and dragging that bait up all the way like this, I would just drag it a little bit at a time. Drag it, reel down my slack. Drag it, reel down my slack. That way, at any moment when I got bit, I could set that hook quicker. Once I started doing this, I landed almost every fish that bit. And just to prove the point, here's a few fish catches from how things went down today. Pay attention to the rod action, pay attention to the hook set. Here it comes. Let's see.
One, and it's bigger.
I'll take that one for all three, and you could call it.
It ate it. He did eat it. Get up in here. What? So if you guys ever find yourself in an area that is just overloaded with bait fish, you know the fish are there, you know they got to be eating these bait fish, there's so many of them, but the bite's really tough. Don't be scared to think outside the box. Try something different. Check out the little bottom hopping finesse swim bait. SmashTech, SmashTail Junior, 3-aught owner flashy swimmer. See if that don't get you a couple more bites. SmashTechBaits.com, link below. Check that site out. Also the rods that I'm using, 6 cents, Lux rods. Love these rods. I've never fished any better. Good value, retailing about the 150 range. Here's the best part. When you go to 6centsfishing.com, and you get on the checkout screen, there'll be a promo box. You go down there and enter the code, Your Lake Fork Guide. You'll get a 10% discount on everything, including these rods. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.